Donc, ça fait 10 ans qu'elle vit sur cette île. Son quotidien, les groupes d'amis avec qui ils font de la création, est chamboulé par un événement tragique, on ne dira pas quoi. Et de là, vous racontez au lecteur à la fois sa jeunesse en Écosse et ses années de formation dans Londres des sixties.
That's right.
Et là, c'est génial. Donc, pourquoi vouliez-vous nous raconter sa jeunesse en Écosse?
I think it was particularly important to me to set up a mystery at the beginning of the book for the reader, and then I think my first way of formulating the story was to sort of go back and forth between the two timelines more regularly, but I made a decision that I would write this book in chunks of time rather than have it zigzag, and I think hopefully that pays off. I wanted the sections in London to be the part where you understand Elspeth Nell's journey to get to the place where she ends up, because the place where she ends up is central to the mystery of who she is as a person, but also to what her art is and what it means. So all of that context I felt was important for the reader to understand as they head into the final section of the book after the tragic event that propels it.
Alors j'ai une question à l'auteur, là, Benjamin Wood a posé. Vous nous parlez du Londres de 60s, des années 70, alors que vous êtes né en 1981. Vous parlez d'un Londres que vous n'avez pas connu.
I've been told that it is authentic by people who lived in that time. I think for me, it's the same as any part of the writing process, the same as trying to write from a female perspective. I tried not to think about it too much and just allow my imagination to project the scene. And I felt that anything that was about detail or texture that was related to the period, I could research. So I did a lot of research of the 60s. I did a lot of research of London at that time. I did a lot of research, a very particular bit of research where I had to stop writing to read all about the Queen Elizabeth ship in 1960s, going back and forth from Southampton to New York. I think I researched just enough so that I can then use my imagination to project the rest.
Alors moi je vous ai lu, votre livre au départ est exigeant, vous proposez au lecteur quelque chose d'exigeant dans la langue, dans l'écriture, donc obligatoirement vous vous êtes donné beaucoup d'exigences à vous-même pour proposer ce livre. Pour quelle raison?
I think so. I wanted it to be challenging but fluent. I think my main motivation as a writer is to try and engage the head as well as the heart in every sentence, and that's what I try to do. So sometimes I think my writing can be more cerebral and sometimes it can be more emotional. But I'm in a position with the French edition is that I'm not sure what the translator has brought to it or done to it. So I'm in a lucky position and I can blame the translator for its faults and take the credit for all of its good things.
Alors non mais Benjamin Wood, tout va bien. C'est très bien traduit, j'en parlais avec votre attaché de presse hier. Non, c'est fascinant ce que vous proposez aujourd'hui, quoi. C'est un très très bon livre. Moi j'y crois très fort pour la rentrée. On termine l'entretien, Benjamin Wood, avec une question qui pour nous est assez efficace sur les réseaux sociaux. 3 raisons aux lecteurs de lire votre bouquin, L'écliptique.
3 reasons to read L'Écliptique would be, 1, if you enjoyed my first novel, you'll enjoy this one. It will maybe ask you to be a bit more patient than my first novel, but hopefully it will reward you just as much. Second reason is if you're interested in art and the process of art and what creativity is and can do, and also if you want a novel that has many strands if it has an intelligent strain to it, a love story, friendship, and that asks the reader to make connections between things, that asks you to be part of the storytelling process. That would be a reason too.
Benjamin Wood, un grand merci pour cet entretien. Votre actualité en librairie à partir du 17 août, fin août, en pleine rentrée littéraire. Vous faites partie de cette actualité, l'écliptique, aux éditions Robert Laffont. On conseille à nos internautes de vous lire. C'est une belle méditation sur la créativité. Un grand merci.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.